What's up, peeps? It's your boy Pharaoh 40220, riding out across Virginia, about to hit West Virginia in about 13 miles. Today's lesson is about, being an owner-operator, independent contractor, and of course, always. And hold on. So anyway, I had a nice little conversation yesterday with the broker, or not necessarily a broker, but an agent, and some of the things that we could do as independent contractors. And I'm gonna just jump in there and assume that everybody is a lease or owner operator that's leased onto a company. And pros and cons basically to leasing onto a company versus running your own authority. Okay? Now, Bear's got all kind of lint on it. Anyway, so if you are a lease operator, owner operator, and you lease onto another company, i.e. Mercer, Landstar, Bennett, somebody like that, there's pros and cons to it. Some of the pros are you're going to get their freight, you're going to get their insurance rates, you're going to have the backing and the protection for factoring for each of those companies that, they do. Each of those companies, they do the factoring for you. That's why they want the bills after you finish. They're going to pay you for it, and then they got to go back and get their money. Okay, so then those are some of the pros. Some of the cons are they give you a percentage of the load. They also are in your paycheck all the time, meaning whatever money you make, they're taking stuff out. Your insurance payments, your physical damage, bobtail, escrows, licensing and permits, all that stuff. They're all in that, okay? And then you get whatever's left over. And then another con to it is that you're subject to their load board, which if they don't have great freight, you're only making so much, All right. Now, getting your own authority, some pros and cons to getting your own authority. Okay? Pro, you pick and choose where you want to go, when you want to go, solely. You control you. Second thing is, you get 100% of the revenue. You don't split it with nobody else. There's no middleman or nothing like that. You work directly with shippers, receivers, brokers, if you want to deal with a broker. But, you know what I'm saying? You work directly with them. There's nobody else involved in the process. And the third thing I believe that would be a good pro for an owner-operator with his own authority is that the fact that you go home when you want to go home, and you kind of work your schedule out the way you want to work your schedule out. All right. Some of the cons to it, of getting your own authority, is that you have to pay all your expenses on your own. So that means you have to go out and find your own insurance. You have to go out and find your own bobtail, physical damage, and all that stuff. Next is that you have to find your own loads. And what I mean by that is, you have to be suave about talking to customers, talking to shippers, talking to, people who have the freight, If you are one of those kind of people who can't talk to people, you might want to work on your people skills. Okay, and then the third thing I think is a con is the fact that, even though you're making money, you have a lot more responsibility on you. So most owners who have their own authority, sometimes they stay out longer to make more money because, I don't know, they don't know how to make it work for them, so they think the longer they stay out, the more they'll make. Anyhow, okay, so one thing that this agent and I was talking about $99. Okay, and then you can take the course, learn how to become an agent, and then now you can broker your own freight. You can be an agent for your own freight, and that's what we need to have, because if you are booking your own freight and you're driving it, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly where to go because you booked it. Okay, and so now you have the best of both worlds in essence, because you're booking your own freight and you're going where you need to go. And now some companies like C.H. Robinson, TQL, a couple other agencies out there, they have a lot of freight. You need to talk with them to see what, the kind of rates that you can get. Now, if you take this class, it's going to give you a class on how to do the freight, picking and the rate, learning how to do the rate assignments and stuff. So basically, learning to become an agent is not harder than learning to drive a truck. We already have a foot in the door. We are out here now. We are talking to shippers and receivers now. So if you pick up a load and that load is paying you $6,000 to the truck, you're going to want to remember that customer, because of the fact that if you do, you can call that customer directly and be like, hey, look, here's my DOT number, here's my insurance, here's my registrations, here's all my legal paperwork that shows that I'm legitimate. Do you have any freight? Oh yeah, we got some freight. Okay, look, I got 5 trucks. What kind of freight lanes can I look at with you guys if I run my 5 trucks? Can I get like some kind of dedicated with you or whatnot? And then that way they might start you off. You may not have to bid on a rate. You might be able to just say, hey, look, I'm starting off in this industry. I got 5 trucks. I know you probably paying your top dog about $2 a mile. But can I get in with $1.45? $1.45 a mile, 5 loads a week. Leaving here, going to wherever. And then from there, you write it down. You write everything you write down. You write it down. And you say, I got 1 truck leaving from, for example, I'm going to say 1 truck leaving Dallas, Texas, going to, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. That's a dedicated up there. And then you find something coming back. All right, then you got another truck that's going from Dallas, Texas to Columbia, South Carolina. You got another truck that goes from Dallas, Texas to Ontario, California. You got another one going from Dallas, Texas to Portland, Oregon. You got another one going from Dallas, Texas to Chicago. Those are 5 trucks right there. And they say, okay, yeah, we got this dedicated lane. It goes out once a week. Okay, cool. All 5 of them go out at least once a week that they're giving us, okay? All right, so then now you go into those other states that you're delivering at. South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Chicago, Illinois, Portland, Oregon, and California, Ontario, California. You go over there and you find freight coming out of those locations going to Dallas. If you have to go within 100 miles to Deadhead to pick it up, but brings it back to Dallas, that's what you want. Because now your truck is back at your shipper, where you have your contract at to run, those dedicated runs to them. So then you get back over there to Dallas, bam. Now, one advantage to having multiple trailers is the fact that if you have multiple trailers, you put a trailer there while you're gone. So basically, if you got 2 trailers to 1 truck, when you pick up the loaded trailer and take it to Carlisle, the empty trailer is still sitting there. All right, when you come back to Dallas, that empty trailer should be loaded. You drop your empty, pick up the loaded, and go back to Carlisle. And then the same thing, you know, up there in Carlisle, you drop that trailer, pick up an empty trailer, and bring it back. So I would say 3 trailers per 1 truck is what you need to have on a dedicated run. Now, it's not hard to do. It's hard to maintain, but it's not hard to do. Okay? Excuse me for a minute. Hot coffee. Anyhow, so you got 5 trucks. You need at least 15 trailers. 1 trailer for you to drive from point A to point B. You got a drop trailer up there at point B. You got a drop trailer at point A. 1 trailer is in transit, back and forth. Okay? So then now, you know, a lot of companies, they may work with you on that notion. They may work with you. They may want you to have more. You know, the idea behind it is find out what they want. Find out what they want, and then from there, set it up. Now, before you negotiate with any company on what kind of rates or what kind of loads you can have, you first need to have the equipment. And this is what the agent told me. First need to have the equipment. That way, when you go in there and talk to them, you can say, hey, I got 5 trucks and 15 trailers. You know, I want to dedicate 2 trailers to you, but I need 1 trailer up there so that I can have a backhaul to you. Okay, that's cool. We can work with that. And then now you have to have your drivers. You want to make sure you have very, very decent drivers. I mean, I'm talking about, it's hard to find the right people to do the job. I'm sorry, I just have to say it because of the fact that not all drivers are here for your benefit. Some of these drivers only want to be here for them. They want to get a paycheck, they want to go home. That's all they care about. Paycheck and home. And the fact of the matter is that while you are out here busting your butt trying to establish your business, they're out here tearing up your trucks. You know, because they're not taking care of the maintenance on it. They're not worried about the speed. They're wanting to speed down the road. Now, if you find really good drivers, somebody where you can tell them like, hey, I got a load that if you pick up, deliver, it's a drop. You drop the trailer, pick up the empty trailer, pick up the loaded trailer up there, bring it back to Dallas, drop that trailer, and now you got a loaded trailer again, and run that back up there. In between that time, you can go home. In between there. But then you got to have somebody else who can cover you while, you know, you're gone home. If you're gone home for like a week or something like that, you need somebody to cover you on that run. Okay? So, one of the issues that I was thinking about is, okay, if you go out and buy all these trucks and these trailers, and you get these drivers, but you don't have contracts yet, so now you don't have any drivers in the trucks because you don't have a contract yet, okay? But if you get a contract, and now you got to go on a hiring frenzy to just hire drivers. You know, what kind of drivers are you looking for? Are you looking for seasoned drivers, ones who've been around for a while? Are you looking for drivers that are new that you can train and teach them how to do certain things? You know, teach them how to drive properly. The best way to make money via, you know, any industry is what I've learned in economics class, is to learn how to duplicate yourself. So, of course, you know, if you go out and you ride with the driver, you teach them what you know, teach them how to drive, you give them all the tools to drive. Now they're going to be able to drive and make money. Now, you know, I like to pay drivers by percentage, but if you're a company driver of mine, you're probably going to get paid by the mile, because that way it'll be a lot easier for you to figure out your paycheck. You know, if you start paying people percentage off top, people are going to be like little, you know, they're going to be getting paid good for doing not a lot of work, and then they're going to be getting greedy, you know. I would only pay an owner-operator who owns his truck percentage. If you are driving for me and you're driving my truck, you get paid by the mile. And more than likely, it's going to probably start off at about 35 cents a mile. So let's just do the math on that, okay? From North Carolina to Ohio is about 400 and, well, let's see, now that was Virginia. I had to go around, so I had to go to it. All right, so let's just say this trip that I'll put you on is 500 miles. Okay, that's pretty much about right, about 500 miles. Okay, so you got 500 miles times 0.35, which is 35 cents. Your paycheck for that trip is $175. Now, you're not going to just stop at 500 miles and, hey, I'm done. No, you're probably going to run probably anywhere around 2,500 to 3,000 miles a week. So before you go home, you can do that trip 6 times. Okay? So if you do that trip once a day, there, back, there, back, there, back. Okay? You're going to have 3,000 miles times 35 cents a mile. You're looking at $1,050 for your paycheck. Now, of course, if you work for somebody, you get the W-2, Uncle Sam requires that, you know, they take taxes out of it. So you figure 16% for taxes, that's $168. You got $1,050 minus $168. You're looking at $882. Okay, that's a nice take-home paycheck for 1 week for running 500 miles a day. Okay? Now let's flip the script on this, and we're going to talk about percentages now. Alright? Percentages is basically, if I'm getting paid $1.45 a mile for this load, I'm making $725 for this load. Okay? Times 0.75, that means the driver is going to make $543.75 because he's going to get 75% of that. Okay? So now he gets 75% of that. $543.75. Alright? Now let's just say this driver did this load 6 times a week and he ran 3,000 miles the same. So it's $1.45 times 3,000 miles. That's $43.50 paid out to the company, and then I'm going to pay the driver 75% of that, which he would make $3,262.50. Okay, now the difference, the reason why the driver gets more, the owner gets more, I should say, from here on out, I'm going to say owner and I'm going to say driver. The owner is going to make $32.62.50. Why is that? Because he's got to pay for fuel. Fuel on that is probably going to be around $1,500. All right, so that leaves him at $1,762. And then now he's going to have to end up paying for his own insurance and all that stuff like that. Because if the owner comes to me, I'm not paying his insurance. Okay, now here's another thing. The fuel surcharge was roughly about 25 cents a mile. So I'm going to add that in. So that's an extra $750 that the driver will make, because the driver is going to get the fuel surcharge. So 3262.50 plus the 750. So he'll probably make about $4,000 minus his $1,500. He's going to make $25,1250 after fuel. Okay. Now he's got his expenses. He's got his insurance. He's got all his other stuff that he's got to take care of. So that's the reason why I myself, I don't particularly mind paying the driver the more money, okay? Or the owner the more money. Okay, so $1.45 times 3,000. Okay, $43.50 times 0.25%. I make $1,087.50 as a company. You know what I'm saying? That's my take. It's $1,087.50 times, say I got 5 drivers doing this. That's $5,437.50 in a week times 52. That's $282,750 for the year. Okay, so then now, sorry, going up this mountain and trucks is slow. Anyway, so now, as far as the company-wise, what do I have to pay out? Nothing. I mean, I get my 25%. The owner gets his 75%. I make money. I put money off to the side. Well, I have to pay my salary. So my salary would probably end up being like maybe $15 an hour times 40 hours a week. So I'll make $600 a week times 52 weeks. So that's that ain't gonna work. I ain't gonna come out making less. Oh yeah. I got it. My bad. I just say that's below the poverty line right there. $15 an hour times 40 hours. That okay. 52. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So for each truck I have, that's how I would do it. I would pay myself $15 an hour for 40 hours a week to dispatch. That's for one truck. Now, if I got 5 trucks, then basically, I'm gonna multiply that by 5 because each individual person requires individual work. So that's what I'm gonna end up doing. And so my salary on top of the company is gonna probably be, I'll probably cap it out at about $120,000. Probably $120,000 to $150,000 is what my salary would be. But I'm also lowballing what the rate per mile would be too, because if I can negotiate with the company to where I'm gonna make $2 a mile, then that's $6,000. The most I'll pay a driver, an owner I should say, is like $1.50 a mile. So $1.50 a mile goes to the owner times $3,000. 3,000 miles is 4,500. Okay, so then he gets 4,500. Let's see, $1.50 times 3,000 times 75%. Yeah, so he gets $33.75, and then the rest goes into the company account. The company has to make money. The company is the one that's supposed to be growing and has to make money. Although the driver does get paid good money, the driver needs to make good money too. And that's company drivers and that's owners. Owners are going to make about $33.75 to $3,500. Okay, whereas a company driver, you're going to start off at 35 cents a mile, but I'm going to cap out at 49 cents a mile times 3,000 miles. You're looking at $1,470. So you can possibly make anywhere from $1,050 up to $1,500 depending on how you work. Now, I do understand that causing these numbers is, crunching numbers, you guys are probably listening like, this guy's crazy. He's changing up this and that. Well, it's how you want to run your business. If you want to run your business so that you're making money, but yet you're paying your drivers so that they're not leaving you, going to other people to work, then you'll look at those numbers also and you'll try to figure it out. This is part 1 of what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this one and start a new one because my time is about to run short. part 2 is about to start now.